So welcome to mybodygraph.com. This is the personal guide to your human design so that you can know yourself and your relationships using the human design system. Being able to embark on this journey of self-discovery to unlock deeper understandings of not only yourself, but especially in the beginning, it's very helpful for your relationships. So what is my body graph? My body graph is a tool that is run by the family of the Human Design System founder, Uru Hu, to facilitate a practical and accurate approach to understanding your human design chart. So it puts the power back in your hands to understand this user manual for life. If you could imagine having a map or a kind of written guide, also with Ra's voice interspersed here and there, that provides clarity about your true nature and offers direction towards your authentic purpose. This is the Human Design System, a revolutionary system that combines principles of astrology, the Chinese I Ching, Judaic Kabbalah, and the Hindu-Brahman chakra system, as well as the quantum physics, your understanding of physiology and psychology to create a unique design that's as individual as your DNA. This intricate human design body graph, it's a snapshot of your energetic blueprint and captures your strengths, challenges, and potential for awareness and wisdom unlike anything else on this planet. Now, understanding your human design can help you so much through the materials as put forth by Uru Hu to understand and unlock your life's highest purpose, calling, and journey that is less resistant and more in flow. So let's meet Uru Hu, the person who brought us the synthesis that is the human design system. In 1987, Uru Hu experienced a mystical encounter that lasted 8 days and nights, during which he received a transmission of information, what is known today as the human design system. Ra devoted his life to developing and teaching human design, serving as the world's first student and messenger, as well as a guide for countless individuals seeking to understand themselves and their place in this world. His teachings are more than theoretical. They are practical tools for self-discovery and personal transformation. Through this website, mybodygraph.com, Ra's profound insights and wisdom are accessible to you, his teachings being meticulously preserved and presented in an easy-to-understand format, allowing you to explore and learn about your own human design chart at your own pace with Ra and our team as your guide. When you embark on this transformative journey, the experience of a lifetime, you'll notice the profound impact that Uru Hu has on you in your life, this human design system. We offer the following automated analysis services using Ra's teachings. So in our unique features of mybodygraph.com, all analysis and educational material is the authentic teachings of Uru Hu, the source of human design, delivered in both text and audio format. Whether you choose to just enjoy the free material, running as many free charts as you like, or maybe you prefer to unlock just your individual chart, maybe your family's chart, your friend's chart. Potentially, you might decide to subscribe for access to unlimited charts. My Body Graph offers you the tools for a transformative journey of self-discovery. Now, in a foundational analysis, this is recommended for anyone who is interested in human design. You can start your journey into human design with free teachings about your type, strategy, and authority, your unique decision-making strategies. Continuing on, we have a comprehensive analysis of your human design where you can understand what conditioning is. In other words, where you are susceptible to influence and pressure, but also where your potential for wisdom lies. The life force in the channels, the way the energy flows through your consistent, fixed, and reliable qualities and strengths. You can also learn to understand your genetic imprint. These are your conscious and unconscious characteristics, I would call them. We also have information about your role, purpose, and direction in this life, the potential of you as a result from experimenting with and living your human design. In the language of human design, the following is covered in a foundational analysis: type, inner or personal authority, open centers, definition, defined centers, channels, circuitry, gates, planets, profiles, nodes, and your incarnation cross. And so we will explore these things as we move through this tutorial, just in brief. This is more of a software tutorial, but aimed for the newcomer, for those of you who have just joined. In the advanced analysis section of our website, you're going to discover your human design at a deeper layer or level. Now, this is recommended for adults who have been experimenting with their strategy and authority for some time. You can also use it as a parent to understand how to nurture your young children best according to their unique, differentiated potential. In an advanced analysis, once you've been experimenting with strategy and authority for a while, our advanced analysis offers transformational knowledge that can take you to the next level of awareness. Experimenting with the 4 transformations for optimal health and cognitive clarity brings you to information that can help you nourish your brain-body system. The, as Rob would call it, particular dietary regimen that enables your body to absorb nutrients properly, enhancing your body's entire well-being and your brain's functioning. You can also learn to recognize your path, the correct environmental frequency that harmonizes with your body's resonance to outer conditions and is absolutely critical for optimal longevity, quality of life, and developing your unique perspective. How you view the world uniquely depends on your perspective, and this is about developing your awareness of how you uniquely see life experiences. It is how you gain wisdom and provides you with signposts to notice when you get lost in what we call distraction. Now, your psychological makeup also includes how your mind conceptualizes. Motivation and awareness determines the unique way you're designed to think, and also, let's say, make sense or know or believe things about life. Your expression of what you've learned through this life as a unique outer authority given without an agenda to an other. That is in simple terms, what enlightenment is. Acceptance and appreciation for the value of everybody's own individual, unique perspective. So in the language of human design, in an advanced analysis, to recap, the following is covered: design and personality, both internal and external color and tone. This is the primary health system and rave psychology, or the 4 transformations of determination, environment, perspective, and awareness, as well as your variable. There are 16 different variables. Imagine the 4 different basic types and then subcategorize them into 16 different orientations of awakening. And there you have the advanced analysis material. Now, another really cool thing, one of the things that human design absolutely helps to improve in your life are your relational dynamics. It's something that most of us dedicated to our experiment notice sometimes right away and definitely over time that your relationships become easier, smoother. Now, in partnership, when we look at a partnership analysis, this is recommended for any kind of connection that you have to another, be it lover, friend, maybe it's a family member, or even a business partner. In a partnership analysis, we bring greater awareness to our relationships in order to help us understand and work through challenges, as well as appreciate the unique dynamics that happen with a partnership analysis. So when we combine any two human design charts, we create a connection chart, which can reveal any of the following. Our connection theme determines how open or closed a partnership is to external stimulation, which helps you understand and also navigate the partnership. The relationship is the communication. And connection theme helps us understand not only communication to each other, but also what's happening in relationship to our relationship with others as a pair. Electromagnetics is a term that shows us where we have attraction and repulsion to another. In very extreme terms, we can see the love and hate there, often the spark of a partnership that makes it interesting, but also requires intense awareness to navigate the ups and downs because of the strong electromagnetic pull. Now, dominance is where one partner is designed to learn from and accept and surrender to the other. This is a powerful force of conditioning, and it is a consistent theme of the other who has the dominance, the one who has the strength in that relationship of the channel, where the other one does not have that channel defined. Now, compromise is a particularly restrictive and challenging dynamic that without awareness can end up being the make or break point of a partnership. In other words, the potential for the death of the relationship begins in the compromise. And yet, on the flip side, this is where you can have incredibly dynamic awareness as the one who is being compromised, the one where the other person has the full channel, but you, if you're being compromised, you have one side of the channel. And so in a relationship dynamic that is particularly interesting in the beginning to you, but not so much to the other. Now, compromise is balanced by companionship, the last of the ways, the four ways that we connect in relationship through the visible activations within the channels. We can see the potential for friendship or even shared experiences. This is what creates stability within a partnership and potentially also invisibility. Now, last but definitely not least, we have transit tools. When you explore the daily transit field with our advanced feature of combining your chart with the daily view, as Ra would call it, we have feature-packed human design transit tools on this software, mybodygraph.com, so that you can stay up to date with the live just now and also combine the just now with the connection chart of yours or anyone else, as well as the upcoming planetary changes overview. It shows you how long something is going to be in transit. You can also create unlimited transit and transit connection charts and use the interactive ephemeris to visually track planetary changes over time. This transit tool allows you to follow the daily motion of the planets through the gates of the body graph and helps you see their influence on your personal chart. This is one of the most helpful educational things you can do for yourself. And it's just a matter of looking and observing, witnessing, watching, becoming aware of how the transit literally affects you specifically as you go about your day, your day-to-day life. All right. So if you have not yet signed up, go to mybodygraph.com, click begin your journey to sign up and explore the free content, because there is no charge to join and explore. So now let's get into what it looks like when you sign up for a free account. And before going further into each of the chart analysis options, let's take a look at how to navigate through the new My Body Graph layout. So this is what it looks like when you first log in. This is Ra's chart, by the way. If you don't recognize him or his chart yet, you will. And as we move through this tutorial, please note that this is only for the desktop version of the My Body Graph software. Although the mobile version has basically the same layout, only that the navigation buttons and chart information are located at the bottom of the chart instead of over to the right. So let's explore this My Body Graph software as it's shown in the computer. The navigation bar at the top of the screen will take you wherever it is that you need or want to go. Now let's take a look at them. Over on the far left-hand side, you'll find the access to some chart navigation tools. There's the homepage link. We also have the search bar as well as a chart library. So search and library of your charts, as well as the ability to create new charts, different chart creation options that are available to you. If we move over to the right side of the navigation bar, you have the icons that are listed and linked to settings, your help desk, database, and different purchase options. Let's go over them one at a time. Here's the help icon. When you click on it, here's the pop-up. You can type a keyword related to the question that you have in order to get really quick answers. And if it's available in our database, we'll be able to give you information on how we can help. Next, you can also click on the Just Now Connection Chart button to get an instant view of the current transits in connection with your chart. Your chart would be the main chart of your My Body Graph account when you set up your account. So here's an example of what it would look like, my chart along with the transit chart. And we'll discuss more of the transit tools in more detail later. Next, we have the day or night theme icon, which allows you to switch between the two different options with just one click, so that you can either have a daytime view or a nighttime view. And what that does, especially for those of you who do not know yet, we have certain people that are designed to be night owls, as in they're not daytime people. And the blue light on your screen, your electronic devices, can often trick your eyes and your body to think that it's daytime and kind of mess up with your sleep schedules. So it's nice to be able to decide whether or not you prefer to have that daytime contrast background up or switch it over to the nighttime. So you can see the icon changes. Clicking when it's black, clicking on the sun, the little sun, turns it into day. And when it's white, clicking on the moon turns it into night. All right, so now we move over to our free knowledge base link, our tiny little owl icon. And when you click that, the knowledge base will open up. You're going to find the frequently asked questions section, as well as a lot of free information on the Human Design BodyGraph, the Rave Mandala, as well as the Human Design system in general, and its key components as well. Next, there's also a dictionary in a separate tab in this section as well. And within that dictionary, you can go ahead and type a term where you can look up specific human design terms in case you come across a new word that you're not really quite sure how we use the word. In addition, there is a Rave I Ching section where you can look up all of the not only gate activations, but as well as their line values and the planetary life aspects that pull them into a fixing. Now, this section is unlocked only for My BodyGraph users who have previously purchased the Rave I Ching, or for new subscribers once you subscribe to any of the available options, which we'll take a look at later on. Once unlocked, you get access to the full Rave I Ching information with the gates listed numerically. Also within the centers, by centers, as well as by circuitry. This is especially helpful for those of you who are studying professionally and anybody who really wants to understand how the human design system works. Now, under notes, this is a section where you can find notes, add notes and find notes. From our previous version of this software, your notes should be imported over. So you can see some examples of notes. Now, in order to create a new note, you're going to click on Add Note. And then in this information box, type in the information you want to save into the notes box. Once done, clicking outside the box automatically saves the note. And then if you want to add a tag to the note, click on Note Tags below the note box. And then start typing in the tag name. To select it from the drop-down list, if you had already created the tag you want to use, you can just click select the tag. Otherwise, go ahead and type in a new tag name and enter to create a new tag. Attach it to this newly created note. You can add as many tags as you wish, but if you make a mistake, you're welcome to delete a note up here at the clicking on delete icon above the box. I'm going to redo that section here. Okay. So right here, see how I have some notes already inside of, this is from my example. These were all imported over from my previous account. So for those of you who are not unfamiliar with My BodyGraph, just know that you will have a bunch of notes if you created them in your previous version of the software. This is actually a totally new site. So everything had to get imported into the new site, a completely new software. So when you get to the note section, this is helpful, especially for those of you who are studying design. If you want to make notes relative to a specific chart, of course, it would be tagged to the specific chart or stored with the specific chart. Here under notes, you can also write notes, have a notes tag so that you can categorize your note. And under tags, it may be that you get overwhelmed with too many tags. I know that's one of the mistakes that I made, because back in the day, I would store all of my professional classes in my former My BodyGraph account. And that way I could just open up all my charts by class by just clicking on a tag. And it got to be overwhelming because I teach so much and it became very unwieldy. So I don't recommend that for any of you who are using this professionally if you teach a lot of classes. So just thinking about the fellow professionals out there. All right, so you select the tag from the drop-down list if you already created it. Otherwise, you can add a new tag, okay? And attach it to the newly created note. You can add as many tags as you wish for any particular note, and then delete a note by clicking the little trash can icon in the top right-hand corner. Then clicking on the close icon in the top right-hand corner, very top, will take us back to the main navigation bar. Now, the shopping cart icon takes us to the checkout section. And then you'll be able to see where you can purchase a subscription plan. So you can see in this example, this is what it would look like when you're logged in your brand new student. Gosh darn it. My mind said participant, student, and then customer. There we go. So this is what it would look like to a brand new customer. Under subscriptions, you'll see 0. Your cart's going to be empty. You can purchase a subscription plan by selecting one of them over here on the right-hand side. All of those things I explained, that's available to you now. You can also unlock any single chart of your choice. So if you, instead of doing subscriptions, you prefer to just unlock a single chart, you're welcome to purchase them individually here as well. Now, to check or make changes to your current subscription status, you're going to click on the profile icon, which is up in the top right-hand corner, looks like a little person over here. And by clicking on that profile icon, this will pop up and you can click on billing and purchase information in order to go to that area of your website. You can also check here to see if any coupons are currently available. One of the most common emails we tend to get, do you have any coupons? Okay, coupons are right here. If there are any applicable coupons, you can click right there. And then change your payment method in case you're on a subscription. Occasionally that needs to happen. So in the payment method tab, you can go ahead and update that there. Going to the settings section will help you with your account general information. And you can see here is where you can check or change your account information, such as your name, which does tend to happen in our industry, your password, as well as your email address and your main chart data, which also happens in our industry. As long as I've been a professional in this, I've seen a lot of changes in either people's names or their birth data because of chart rectification. So it's not uncommon. Now, under options right here in your account, you'll find the ability to check a little box for pro mode for your personal charts. Here's where you'll find the option to enable pro mode for personal charts under the options tab. So under the options tab, by clicking that box, it gets rid of the step-by-step features for those of you who are not wanting to be guided through every single chart because you are a professional. Okay, was a common request that we recently implemented. So with this option on, you're going to see the chart information readily listed to the right of your charts by topics so that you can have quick and straightforward access. Whereas in the default mode, this is what it'll look like. The information is structured with the beginner human design student in mind, where you have different sections divided into the foundational analysis, which is not something a professional needs to look at or wants to be bothered with. They would prefer to look at this kind of information. Okay, so beginner and advanced. That's how you turn that on or off under your account right here, pro mode. Okay, that should be helpful. And in the advanced analysis, you're going to see that things are organized according to a recommended order of learning on the right-hand side. So now if we go over to the top left-hand corner again, you're going to see that there are several ways to access your own chart. The main chart for the My Body Graph website. Besides accessing it through the library and search functions, which is where we're going to go into next, you can also access it by clicking on your profile icon. And then, as this pop-up window shows, click on Open Your Chart. But the fastest way to open your chart is just by clicking on your username, which is next to the profile icon. And that's going to pop open your personal chart. Now, to access any other chart that has been created before, you can either search by typing the name into the search function. And as you click on the search bar, a list of your most recently viewed charts will come up. Or you can search by going into your chart library. And you click on the chart library. You can have the option to scroll through the charts you created before. And if you already have saved a large selection of charts, you're also able to filter through your search for the specific type of chart or charts that you're looking for, either by unlock status or by the kind of chart that was created, or just by different chart attributes, such as any specific incarnation cross, or just by tags, if you had tagged your chart before. Tags are very helpful for sorting through charts, especially for those of us who have a lot of charts in our databases, particularly if we're doing any kind of research, wanting to link together commonalities between charts, let's say in accordance with people who have a certain expression of some kind of genetic predisposition towards, let's say, Hashimoto's as an example. And you're wanting to study things from a biological, physiological perspective of how certain charts are manifesting certain disease patterns, as an example. Okay, there can be all kinds of things that you might use that for. Another thing I think of is maybe if you're analyzing what tendency of people show up with a certain kind of proclivity towards being in a certain profession, as an example. Now, a recent addition, it's now possible to filter down to the level of detail of gates and channels as well. So if you're searching for certain people who have specific gates in their design or channels, that is also an option. You can also select what kind of information you want to have displayed in your chart library window. So now let's go ahead and see how to create a new chart. You're going to create a new chart by clicking on the New button in the top left-hand area of the software. It's in red and it has a plus sign in front of it. So when you click on that, what's going to pop open is this selecting what kind of chart you want to create. The free My Body Graph account will allow you to create an infinite number of personal, connection, and even transit charts. However, you'll need access to any available subscriptions or unlock single charts for the foundational, advanced, or partnership analysis information. Those are paid upgrades. The cycle charts are a special case as they are currently only available for those of us who previously purchased this feature before the release of the latest version of My Body Graph, which came out late last year. This feature is currently unavailable to the public because the analysis content is in the works and yet to be released. Our team will eventually create and release the cycle's material, but until then, this feature will continue to function as before, only to the users who have purchased access to this feature previously. Now, to create a new personal chart, you're going to enter in the birth data, and you'll see a preview of the body graph once the birth data has been entered. Then you're going to see Create Chart and click that in order to save. This chart is then automatically saved to your library. You'll see the little pop-up window at the bottom, success, creation was successful, and you'll see the chart to confirm. You can see that the visibility for this particular display is with the Pro mode on. And then once you have that chart open, you can access the Other Options section. Under Other Options, when you open up the available features, in order to share that body graph, you're going to want to click on this area to share. You can also edit the birth data, access any notes, or if you want to check notes that were previously created. You can also create a quick just now connection chart, as well as download an image of this particular chart. If you want to delete and add tags to your chart, here's where you find that. Enter into the Edit section. And if you want to delete the chart, click on the bottom right-hand corner, Delete Chart. Now going back to the chart, when you open a chart, you have 3 different modes available: the standard mode, the Rave Mandala mode, and both are available for the free account. So standard mode shows the body graph calculations, the database on either side with just the body graph. Mandala mode shows all of the planetary activations brought into the Rave Mandala wheel so that you can see where they are positionally within the wheel. And again, both of those are available for the free account. This is the icon for the advanced imaging mode, which shows the magic squares on either side, the physiological and the psychological activations. And this is a feature for the advanced analysis subscription only. Next, we can also select different view modes. This is, again, the normal full body graph view right there. The next option, really quick to be able to see, click on this button for just the physiology or the design. Click on the next button for the personality or the psychology view only. And then there is the incarnation cross view, the sun-earth activations on either side of the body graph brought into your body graph. As mentioned before, when you have the Pro mode of the My Body Graph option on, you'll find the chart information in this list to the right, which is divided by topics. When you see the chart properties and click on it, this is where you'll find a summary of the body graph's basic information. So the very basic information accessed through chart properties and summary. You can click over to the right to see statistics, which show us the gate activations, how many are in what circuitry, as well as the line qualities, how many are in which line. Under properties, when you have the default mode on, remember the layout is slightly different because with this layout on, each section is going to include a general description of a human design concept, followed by chart-specific material for you to apply in your life. You'll see the chart properties once you click on the properties button, which will be situated on top of that other options button that we just explored. So again, this is more helpful. Leave this on for you to learn at the very beginning, to learn about your own body graph or the body graph of your friends and family, or if you're a brand new student. And then you'll find information over here as well under properties on the planetary activations, the centers, the gates, and the channels. They're going to be in different tabs inside of the properties section as well. This body graph software is also going to be interactive as it was designed for you to have quick results. So if you want to do a specific search for any of the single activations, you can just move your mouse pointer over the planet that you want to look at. And then you'll see that gate activation is now highlighted in the body graph. And clicking on activations will open up a description box for that specific gate and line. And the planet description is on a separate tab. So here's what it looks like. Down here, the details of the gate and line. So if you have access to paid features, you're going to see the Rave I Ching description. And there's the gate. And when you click on that, you'll be able to listen to Ra talk about that gate and much more information, including audio files for each of the gates, centers, and channels, if you have the subscription, to be able to listen to Ra talk about your chart. Now, when we zoom out again, thinking of the student who wants to study any given chart information, by following the recommended study order in the default mode layout, if you have purchased any of the software analyses, either foundational or advanced or partnership, whether for a single chart unlock or as a subscription, you will then have a comprehensive amount of information available, either as a topics list on the right side of the chart for the pro mode, or spread out over several tabs that you're going to see are located along the right-hand side of the software when you're in the default chart mode setting. These tabs include Introduction, Type, Strategy, and Authority, Conditioning, Life Force, Imprint, Role, Purpose, and Direction. Please note there may be additional subsections within each of these tabs to click through. So let's go into further detail as to what information is provided with each analysis option. When you click the foundational analysis, you're going to find that this is the ideal place to start your journey into human design, with free teachings about your type, strategy, and authority. This is your unique decision-making strategy in order for you to become your own authority. So purchasing this product for a single chart or as a subscription will unlock comprehensive information on the following. The power of conditioning. Conditioning is where you are susceptible to influence and pressure, and again, where your potential for wisdom lies. Next, we have life force. This is the definition in your design, or how energy flows through your consistent, fixed, reliable, and trustworthy qualities that are absolutely, utterly unique to you. Then we see the imprint, your conscious and unconscious characteristics in your design, aspects of your nature. Then we take a look at role, purpose, and direction. This is your potential as a result of experimenting with and living your design. This is where we can see the validity for truth as we start to live our costume profile. Is a costume that we wear in this life, to be able to grow into that costume and play out that great archetypal role and fill those big shoes that we're designed to grow into over our lifetime. So in the language of human design, again, under a foundation analysis, the following is covered: type, inner authority, open centers, definition, defined centers, channels, circuitry, gates, planets, profile, nodes, and your incarnation cross. Once you've been experimenting with strategy and authority for some time, if it's correct for you, you can then enter into the advanced transformation practice to discover how your body and mind operate uniquely for you. This is the introduction to advanced analysis transformation, where you will be educated in order to walk through the 4 transformations in the recommended order. The 4 transformations are also called variables. Variables reveal how you can nourish your brain-body system. That's the first step. This is the particular dietary regimen that enables your body to absorb nutrients properly, which enhances your entire body's well-being and also your brain-body system functioning. In addition, we can deconstruct this to be about information, life, how we internalize the information that we digest and process in this life. People too. Next, we have recognition of your path in this life. The environmental variable is where you are designed to be attracted to at age 30 and beyond, to be pulled to your body's resonance to outer conditions, where this is a critical factor for not only the path that you're walking to be able to fulfill your life's work, but also your longevity, your quality of life. And it is the ability for you to resonate to the right place in order that your perceptual or perspective develops correctly. So that's the next step. How you live your life and view your life comes from being in the right place and operating in alignment to be able to see uniquely. Your perspective develops your awareness of how you're uniquely viewing your life experience. Your view. Here is how you're here to gain wisdom over time. These are developmental themes that provide you with signposts to help you see and notice when you get lost in distraction. Technical term that we use specifically here, distraction, away from how you're designed to see. Because when you see correctly, out pops your motivational frequency, the next step in the 4 transformations. Variable for motivation is how your mind conceptualizes and is aware, the unique way that you think and process your awareness, your mental awareness, and the expression of what you've learned through your life, the way that you're designed to give your outer authority uniquely to others. For this next step in your journey, it's absolutely crucial. The advanced analysis depends upon having highly accurate birth time down to the minute, as advanced properties can shift far more rapidly than foundational or surface properties. In the language of human design, the following is covered here: design and personality, internal, as well as external, color and tone, the primary health system, and rave psychology. These are the four transformations: our determination, environment, perspective, and awareness, the variable. Okay, now let's go to, I'm going to get a sip of water here and just check the chat because I can see I've got a chat here. Good. So we will check with questions after we finish, but it looks like, yeah, I'll probably take the next half hour to continue on in the training. Hope you enjoyed that if you need to leave. Okay. Now, moving on from the advanced analysis, let's go up to the new chart button and create a new connection chart. This is where our partnership analysis information will be under connection charts. So you can create a connection chart by selecting two charts that you wish to analyze in connection with each other, and then click on Create Chart. The first person's chart activations will be shown on the left side pane of the connection chart, and they are going to be colored in blue in the body graph. The second person's chart will be shown on the right-hand side. The gates and channels will be colored in green for them. As is the case for personal charts, you're going to find chart information available by navigating through the various tabs down the right-hand side of the Foundation Analysis section, as well as within the additional subsections within each tab. The Partnership Analysis product will help bring greater awareness to your relationships. This is what is going to help you work through, not only identify, but also work through challenges, the great big why of the unique connectivity field that you have with that other person. There's also going to be a lot of dynamic factors relative to understanding your relationship and the conversations that are had within that relationship. Purchasing this product for a single chart or as a subscription will unlock comprehensive information on the following: your connection theme, which determines how open or closed a partnership is to external stimulation, which helps you understand and navigate the partnership. So you'll see the variability as you analyze or take a peek at each of the different relationships that are important to you in your life. Next, we have the electromagnetic connections: attraction and repulsion, sometimes called love and hate, like and dislike. This is where we have often the spark of a relational dynamic, but it requires awareness to navigate the ups and downs of being incredibly attracted or incredibly pushed away by that dynamic within your relational partnership. The harmonic gate activations on either side of a channel, when each of you carries one or more. Now, dominance is something very different. It may sound uncomfortable, but it's actually just where one person is designed to learn from and accept and surrender to the powerful conditioning force and consistent theme of what the other person brings to the table. So in this example, green has no activations within this particular channel, which is exploration. Design of following one's own convictions, no matter what. This person cannot help but follow their own convictions, no matter what. It is part of their nature. And the other person getting conditioned by that will show up uniquely and differently. And learning from, in this example, green, learning from that dominance is a critical key factor in the relationship harmony, to know what's yours and what is the other's. Next, we have compromise. Compromise is a particularly restrictive and challenging dynamic. And what happens is, without awareness, it can end up being the make or break point of a partnership. That partnership dynamic where one person has the whole strength, channel, dynamic, and the other person just has an activation within that channel dynamic. So what happens is the person just with one side of the channel has to compromise to the fact that the other person carries the entire channel or life force activation. And the only way to deal with this is through, of course, your decision-making strategy, honoring yourself as your personal authority, as well as surrendering to the fact that there is a compromise there. One of the most dynamic places of learning in a couple's chart, that it's not personal, that it's not the other person's fault, that it is what it is, and that you can find your own expression of this with someone else, maybe not necessarily with that particular person. Now, companionship is a place where both parties happen to have the full channel. We don't see that as an example here, but this is also a potential for mutual friendship and shared experiences that can create a kind of stability within the partnership, because we're likes like. We both maintain a certain set of vision, you could say. But there can also be a level of invisibility. Both people have, let's say, their own mental awareness. Then they have their own process. And so it's not about seeing the other through that lens, because you both share that experience together. So kind of friendship again. Not particularly common in relationships that people are going to have companionship, unless there's a lot of difference. Other places where there's a lot of, let's say, electromagnetics or compromises. And then finally, in addition, you're going to learn about your gates of love in the relational dynamic. These are the 10 gates in the body graph that can also profoundly impact how each partner experiences love, not only for themselves, but also transcendent love, finding love through the relational dynamic with the other. Let's move on to the next kind of chart. Click New, click on Transit. Regarding the transit tools, a free My Body Graph account will allow you to create a Just Now chart. Just Now shows what's happening right now. Now, if you move up, you can see this is what we're going to do. Create a simple transit chart, including any given chart's transit connection. You will need a transit tool subscription to unlock the ephemeris, activation watch, and changes. These are tools that allow you to explore the transits and shift through activations and visually track planetary changes over time. This also includes the Ravi Ching. Now, note that this is a software tool which provides the means for exploring the transits, but does not yet include educational material as of the time of this recording, early 2024. So we are not teaching nor analyzing transit themes currently. The integration of the I Ching, which is included with the transit tool subscription, and the foundational analysis content supplement of the transit tool. I think I need to read that again. My apologies. Okay. So note that this is a transit. Note this is a software tool which provides the means of exploring the transits, but does not yet include educational material to teach or analyze transit themes. The integration of the I Ching, which is included with the transit tool subscription, and the foundational analysis content supplements the transit tool. So the My BodyGraph transit tool allows you to create unlimited transit and transit connection charts, which is the composite chart of an individual chart and transit for any transit date that is between the 1900 year towards 2060. Okay, so those are the dates that you can analyze with a transit tool, 1900 to 2060. To create a transit chart, click on New, then click on Transit. As an example, let's say we want to check out the transit connection chart for a day and time of important events for you, something like an engagement, a marriage, perhaps you want to start a business, or in this example, let's use the timing of the event of you getting a job offer. In this case, we select your chart. Let's use the example chart. And then we put the date and time in. Custom date is going to help you be able to enter in the custom date. So just ignore that it says birth date. You're looking at the birth of an event in this case, okay? So for that event, you enter in the date and time, then create chart. In order to save to library, you have to click up here because oftentimes those of us look at different dates and we don't necessarily want to clutter up our library with a lot of different events. So please note that transit charts aren't saved automatically. So if you wish to save a transit chart, you're going to need to click on Save to Library once you create it. It's a good idea if you're doing a specific event. I recommend that you save the event name when you label it, okay? That'll help you because you might forget why you saved that particular event if it wasn't necessarily a big deal. Now, the selected chart's planetary activations are going to be shown on the left-hand side. They're also colored in blue inside of the body graph. So you can just get used to the fact that the left-hand side database will always be colored in blue. And the transit is going to be green, always found on the right-hand side of the body graph, brought into the body graph colored in green. As is the case with a regular chart tool, clicking on any of these planetary activations will open the corresponding Rave I Ching information window. And when you close the properties pop-up, you're going to find the navigation tools that can be used to study and explore any transit activations in detail. In these navigation panes to the right, the very right side of the custom chart window. So select the planet that you want to explore from the planetary panel. You see, this is the planetary panel. And here we're clicking on the moon. And then you'll find below it written and audio information of the gate activation for that planet, as well as the line and any changes data as far as when there's going to be an upcoming change and when it was activated. Now, if we click on ephemeris, you notice over here on the top right-hand corner of this window, sub-window opened up, that you can click on hourly or daily when you're tracking the planetary movements. Again, the date between 1900 and 2060, those years. You can view hourly or daily changes by selecting on the corresponding option on the buttons on the right-hand side. The ephemeris is interactive, so you can scroll through it indefinitely in any direction by positioning your mouse just above the sun row over the date and hour text, and then clicking and dragging either to the left or to the right. Notice this red line right here that shows you where just now is. Now, when you click on any of the gate activations inside the ephemeris table, we'll open up further Rave, I Ching, and activation changes information for that particular gate and line. So you can see in this example, we've got our mouse clicking on Earth, and that's what's opening up here over on the left-hand side, 52.5, 52, and 5. Anytime you're looking around and you're wanting to know more information about what you're looking at, notice these little icons. It's a circle with a question mark in it. You can click on the question mark button, in this case, on the left-hand side of the ephemeris, and that's going to open up an informational pop-up window. This is where, in this case, the ephemeris color key explanation is going to be, as well as further instructions to use it in either a mobile or a trackpad device. So again, this being for our computer users, I'll leave that for your reading if that is something that you're going to try and use on a mobile or with a trackpad. Next, we have our activation watch. So when we click on activation watch, you'll notice it's going to allow you to quickly and easily explore the line shiftings of each planet for the current gate and the next gate. So here we can see what's activated currently, and we can also see the next shift. When you click on next shift, it's going to move towards the next gate activation that is after the one that's currently activated. So you can see the current activation is still, is there. Hang on. So you can see this next shift is now being shown up here where it says current activation because you are in this area called next shift. Next, we have changes. This is the last section of our transit toolbar. Changes, the changes overview reveals the next activations. So this is another way to see what's next relative to all the planetary activations that are showing. The exact moment of gate and line changes and all retrograde data for all planets at a glance. Now, here's the benefits of observing transits. What you're going to do, if you start to observe these transits, you can develop an awareness of the difference between who you are and who you are not by witnessing the impact of the transits on yourself and others. And then learning about the planets while observing their impact as they transit through specific gates related to your design, especially. Your individual design is always being affected differently, uniquely by the transits, depending on your design. Another thing that you can do with transit study is that once you become familiar with what certain thematics mean in your design, you can mentally prepare for the weather conditioning so that you are less likely to deviate from strategy and authority, either leveraging the transit when it's aligned for you or taking a deep breath and knowing that this too shall pass if you're getting off track and the off track showing up as resistance in your design. Now, if you want further help exploring all of the My Body Graph functionalities, you can also go to help.mybodygraph.com and check into the frequently asked questions and additional tutorial articles as well. So that was the end of our presentation. And now we have available time, maybe about 15 minutes, to check in and see what questions came up for you on any of the information that is here. If there are no questions, then I'll just read through the most recent 2023 update information. Okay, I don't see anything yet, so I'll just go ahead and start. 2023 update information. I can't log in. What can I do? If you're trying to log into the new if you're trying to log into the new My Body Graph for the first time, but you're seeing the error message, something went wrong, please follow these steps. Click on the Forgot Password link under the Login button. In the pop-up, enter your email address and click on Reset Password. And the pop-up will confirm that an email has been sent to you. Find a reset password email in your inbox. Be sure to check spam and click on the Reset Password, your password button. On the page that loads in the pop-up titled Recover Password, enter your new password, then click on Change Password button. The pop-up will confirm that your password has been changed. You should now be able to log into your account. And if you're still unable to log in, please contact us. So here's the step through version of what to look for those of you who are very visual like myself. Personally, I would totally not even look at that and just go, okay, if I see that, then I go do this, and the step-by-step process to reset the password, to recover or reset. Now I see a question, so let's go check. Okay, yes, Julie, you have a question? You should be able to hit the microphone.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just typing it in because I wasn't sure what the procedure was, but at the bottom of the foundation analysis and the advanced analysis is a little box that says, I have completed this, or I understand what happened. What happens when you click on that box? Does it go away forever?
I think it goes away. Yeah. So let's try it. There's Pro Mode. I'm going to turn off Pro Mode. Go back to my chart. Oh, let's see. Refresh. I'm under properties. I turned off Pro Mode. Maybe I didn't save. Hang on. Trial and error. Let's go here. Settings again. And turn off Pro Mode. Save changes. There we go. Okay, if I go back to my chart, so this is going to be, I've completed this section. Okay. I think that just shows that you've completed the section.
So you still have availability. That's great.
Yeah, you still have it there.
Thank you.
Let me refresh and see if that just still stays there. Yeah, it says I've completed the section.
Okay, I was afraid to click it. Something terrible would happen. No, I don't know.
I'm always willing to try and fail. So
there you go.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. Anybody else, if you need to ask a question, you're welcome to let me know. I can unmute you. So Sarah, Oni, Milena, Shell, Mari, Mandy. Hi, Mandy. Eva, Ibrahim, Diana. Okay. Looks like no other questions. So I'm just going to explore a little bit more here since I have a little bit of time and energy. Okay. I've logged in, but something is wrong. What do I do? The charts are missing. My library is empty. My purchased products are missing. My chart tags are missing. All of these notes are missing. So if any of this happens, please rest assured that all your data is still safe. If you're logging into the new My Body Graph, remember how everything got imported over? So it's still living on the old My Body Graph site. It's just that we have a new site now that has lots of updates. So all you need to do is contact us at support@mybodygraph.com. Please email from the email address that you use to log into My Body Graph. and you will be able to get some help. Notice up here on the top right-hand corner, there's also submit a request. So you can put in your email address. Always make sure that you're using the email address of your account. For those of us like my third line quality, I use emails to sort email addresses to sort different, not only roles I have at different companies, but also different activities or interests. And as I have many, sometimes I forget which email did I sign up with. So don't go and check what your email address is first, if you're three like me. And then make sure that you use your correct email address. Type in a subject. It is optional. And then a description. Now, notice anytime you submit a request to any software company, doesn't matter whether it's us or anybody else, it's always a good idea to be as detailed as you can. Be calm because you're going to think clearer. And then also take screenshots. When you take a screenshot, it helps the software support to see what it is that you're dealing with. And they might also be better helped if you can let them know what device you're on, as well as what browser you're using, and the versions of both the device and the browser that you're using. So I would suggest that you put that in there. Entering in those as details, and when you get the error, so taking a screenshot of the error, and then one of the support staff will respond to you as soon as they can. Okay. Now, what else can we explore here? Diana is asking, I bought all of the upgrades before the subscription edition came out. Does it mean I have those upgrades? Yes, you do have those upgrades. It sure does. Go and see. Try it and see. I'm a 3, so, but that's my understanding. Will my purchases, look at that. Will my purchases from the previous site transfer to the new site? Yes, all of your purchases transfer to the new My Body Graph. You will not be required to subscribe to or repurchase any Talking Body Graph content or software features you already purchased. Next, how will my purchase convert to the new site? Here's a table overview of how our products have changed and what that means for you as a customer. Below is the table of the detailed product descriptions or descriptions of these changes. So you're going to be able to see the difference between the old and the new if that applies to you. Now, I already unlocked advanced step 3. Why is advanced analysis locked? That's because our advanced analysis has changed. The new advanced analysis contains entirely new content about advanced properties that the pre-My Body Graph update did not offer, which is why our pre-update advanced step 3 is different from the new advanced analysis. In the old software, it included information about channels, gates, nodes, incarnation cross, angle, and quarter. All of that is actually now in a foundational analysis. So rather than breaking foundational analysis and then an advanced and then an advanced, they actually gave you the bonus of all of this being included in the foundational analysis. Now, it's important to note that when you're getting a human design foundation analysis from a certified international human design school analyst, we don't go into incarnation cross, angle, and quarter, or nodes deeply. That's all synthesized into your first foundation analysis. And an incarnation cross analysis is separate from that. Incarnation cross analyses are best done after you've had some time in the experimentation with your human design. So just noting the slight difference, okay, if you're going to get a foundation analysis from an analyst. And that leads me to another question people might ask is, what is the difference between the software and going and getting a chart reading? And that depends on you and your relationship with that chart analyst, because everybody's going to keynote the body graph. We all have formulas that we run or operate through. And keynoting is an art, yes, part science, but a lot of art. And it depends on what comes through that person that's reading your chart for you. So even though you might get similar things that different chart analysts will say to you about your chart, It depends on where you're at in your deconditioning process as far as what you're going to hear from that person and what you might say and what your interaction might be between you and that analyst. So I know a lot of people who have gotten multiple analysis from different professionals that they were resonant to at different times, and the impact might be different. Okay. So as a result, any chart, when you had 2 and 3 unlocked, it will be the foundation analysis, single chart unlocked. So the new advanced analysis, as I previously discussed in this presentation, it includes variables and 4 transformations based on PHS, primary health system, and rave psychology. It's truly advanced material, hence the name of the analysis. So it wasn't in the primary or the first iteration of my body graph. I can't log in with my old username. If you're trying to log into the new My Body Graph for the first time, but you can't log in with your old username and password, please try with the email address you used to register your old My Body Graph account instead. If you don't remember which email address you used, contact for assistance. Do you need to pay to access your charts? Nope. My Body Graph offers free chart creation, personal, connection, and transit charts for saving and tagging. You can also access the knowledge area, which is our owl icon, to read articles, the dictionary, and write notes for free. Also, each analysis service, our foundational, advanced, and partnership, offers an abundance of free educational content too to help you get started. Ooh, what's new? Okay, so now we have 3 different analysis services: foundation, advanced, and partnership. And I just discussed the difference between foundation and advanced now. And each analysis can be unlocked either for a single chart, and that's at a one-time fee, or unlimited charts for a yearly subscription. Is foundation and advanced unlimited the same as foundation analysis subscription? In the pre-update site, it will be migrated over to the new My Body Graph as foundation analysis, as mentioned, but you won't need to pay a yearly fee. It's unlocked forever in your account at no additional charge. And do I need to pay a subscription fee? If you purchased Foundation and Advanced Unlimited, or before you also had the transit tools or the I Ching for a one-time fee, they remain active within your account forever at no additional cost. The connection chart feature is now a free service, and products that are now subscriptions will be unlocked in your account forever if you purchase them in the pre-update site. All right, last call, my friends. Any other questions? I think I got enough for now. I'm going to go look at notes, actually, since I don't see anything. Notes have been moved to the owl. While logged in, click on the owl icon in the main navigation menu, then the Notes tab. Your pre-update notes have been tagged with the name of the chart that they were written about. Ah, wow, I probably have a lot of notes in there now. Okay, so that was the end. And again, any information that you want to ask My Body Graph, I'm not actually in their office. I'm doing this as a part of my representation of Jovian. So don't write to me about any software issues. Please write support@mybodygraph.com if you are a customer, and office@mybodygraph.com if you want to become a customer and you have questions. All right. Thanks so much, my friends. Take care. Bye for now.